Hi guys, welcome back to the channel. So today is the first lesson of 5. We're going to be joined today by Tom Whitehouse, who's an ex-European Tour Pro player. So if anyone can fix my swing, he can. Let's see how we get on.
Okay, all right. So where are we going to hit them? What sort of target are you going to pick here? Your mat's kind of hitting you towards 14 or just right of that 2? Furthest one
Yeah. Okay.
in the distance
That's
there.
my line, yeah? Okay.
Perfect. And then I'll take a bit of video and then we'll have a look. That obviously curves to the right quite a bit.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
I can see the club head.
Yeah, coming
Here.
out the other side.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. I'm just going to take a bit of a funny camera angle
Yeah?
of this.
Okay.
If you wonder why I'm standing behind
What's
you,
he doing over there?
I'm trying to get what I think I can see in. Hopefully that picked it up, but
Yeah?
yeah,
Should I hit a couple more or?
yeah, got it, which is
Yeah, you got it.
perfect. Yeah, you can hit. We hit one more. Let me get one
Okay.
from this angle here,
Cool.
just to make sure we cover all bases, and then 1 second. Yeah, I'm good to go when you are. Okay, brilliant. Okay.
And that's about 50 yards left of the 40.
Okay, yeah, so we hit like 2-3 curves to the right and then a pull
Yeah.
to the left, yeah?
Yeah.
Right, okay. We'll start from this angle as it's on.
Yeah.
So, initial setup looks decent, doesn't it? You
Yeah.
know, so 7 iron, ball position's relevant.
Yeah.
Yeah, you know, balanced nicely. Grip looks pretty good, considering.
Yeah, I've been working on it.
Yeah,
Since you said.
absolutely. You know, you would have seen a very different look last time. You'd
Yeah.
have been very much more under the grip, very strong.
Yeah.
So that looks better.
Yeah.
I really like that. That's really good. Let's have a little run through. Okay. So, yeah, pretty good. Okay.
Jesus.
I mean, yeah, it's long. But at first, my first thing I'm drawn to, other than watching the club and the arms, is the body. And actually, to be honest, buddy, I'm really pleased the fact that we don't really move off it much.
Yeah.
So we've got a nice centre of turn. You know, for 3/4 of that golf swing is pretty good.
Yeah.
You know, your centres are aligned, which I think is great.
Yeah.
You can then just motion onto your left side and hit an iron. But then we just got that excessive lift almost with the, you know, and you start to see that bend there come.
Yeah.
And obviously that allows this club to swing probably a bit too far for you.
Yeah.
It looks like there's a bit too much shoulder rotation, really.
Okay.
So that sort of arm lift is facilitating more shoulder movement for you, which is allowing you to swing just a bit too far.
Yeah.
Hard part from there is timing more than anything.
Yeah.
You know, you've
That's
got
what it's certainly
such a long arm swing
Yeah.
that as soon as your body kind of gets involved, your body can't get involved. It's got to wait.
Yeah,
it's
till
got
your
to
arms catch up.
until your
Yeah.
arms catch up with you, and then you kind of go through. And actually, to be honest, you do a really decent job.
Okay.
You know, there's a lot of good in this,
Yeah.
rather than just focusing on that one movement that looks like a bit awkward. There's some really good parts to that as well. Let's
Okay.
just flip to the going back. Okay, a little bit inside, maybe a little flat,
Okay.
so we could go a little bit more upright.
Yeah.
That's easy fixable, really. Yeah, a little too flat for me.
Okay.
I'd rather see the shoulders on less of that axis, and the shaft at less of that axis,
Yeah.
and be a little bit more towards that axis.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So the shoulders would need to tilt a little better. Club would need to work up a little bit more. But again, that's probably not the bit we'll focus on the most. It's this part here where we're just, yeah. Okay, so elbows spread a little.
Yeah.
Definitely the right arm over flexes. So there's too much flex in that right elbow.
Okay.
And the left arm bends, as we've seen, and obviously you can start to see the club coming out down here, which
Yeah.
is a little bit difficult. From there, we're a little bit over the top, then steep.
Yeah.
A lot of times when you see golf swings for me, that are narrow. So in other words, the hands are very close to the shoulder at the top. You almost certainly see the arms get thrown out.
Yeah.
Very rare when somebody swings long and narrow do they actually come inside.
Okay.
They generally end up extending their arms to catch up and coming out over the top, which is pretty much what you do.
Yeah.
You start to extend the arms. It comes a little bit, now we're way above plane and we're cutting across the ball.
Yeah.
Now, that's where the shape of the ball comes. If you leave the face sort of square to the target or open, ball curves off to the right.
Yeah.
If we square it up to the path, we hit it way left. So, although that's a focal point, I probably wouldn't focus on that as the problem.
Okay.
I think that's a byproduct of what you do prior to that.
Yeah.
So if we can tidy up the backswing in terms of length and maybe a little bit of its direction, you're going to have a lot easier time pulling that club down more on the inside.
Okay.
It's going to be an easier job rather than having to reroute it.
Okay.
The other thing that I wanted to show you was this. You can almost see it from that camera angle. I'm going to zoom in. We swing so long and we bend the arm and this elbow over folds that actually this hand actually comes off the club.
I do feel that sometimes.
Yeah. So as you get to the top of this backswing here, you can still, from about here onwards, you can see you've got pressure on the glove hand.
Yeah.
And that almost here now will start to separate. So as I push it up, look, you can almost see that hand coming off the golf club.
Yeah.
So you can see the fleshy part here actually detaching from the glove hand. So we lost control of the face a little bit then, haven't we? We've lost control of the club. That then has to reroute and come back on, and eventually reattach itself. Yeah. Whether it reattaches in the same place or not is quite difficult to do, I guess. Yeah. So we obviously bought train aid. Which is good. I think this is a good addition because that's going to stop that elbow over flexing, which is a good thing. That's definitely one part. We're obviously, as we do that, we need to keep this lead arm straighter. Yes. So when we get to what feels top of the backswing is going to feel about here, I guess. Yeah. We've kind of done enough by now. Okay. Yeah. And we're going to look to get a little bit more of this shape to it, where this arm is straighter. Yeah. There's less flex in that trail arm with this train aid. Yeah. And then hopefully we should be able to bring the club a bit more down instead of this excessive movement there. Okay. There's one other thing that I want to try and incorporate whilst we do this, which is, kind of shortening it up, making it a little bit wider with our, less flex in the joints. Is the direction. So I'd like to do a little bit on that first. Okay. And incorporate this at the same time if we can. Yeah. Okay. Okay. Perfect. Right. I'm just going to use this as a guide. So hold that across your chest. So put that hand here, and then that one there. Yeah. Perfect. That's it. So that basically just hold it against your chest there. Yeah. That obviously shows you what your shoulder plane's doing, okay? Yeah. So you take your stance. Now at the moment, what you tend to do is you tend to swing the golf, so bend forward a little bit more from the waist. Yep. You come back on sort of this line, so as you're swinging back, the club goes a bit inside and your shoulder plane kind of does this, which is too high, it's too flat, the shoulder plane. Yeah. The ball's obviously down here a bit more and we're swinging above that. Yeah. So at some point we're going to have to steepen that to get to the ball. Okay. So we end up going quite flat on the backswing and then quite steep on the downswing. Okay. So the idea here is to go back to there. We'll use a golf ball as reference. Yep. So let's pop that in there. Now what I want you to feel a little bit higher on the chest. Yep. I just want you to take your stance again, put your bum back a bit more. I want to feel like I'm working this shoulder a bit more down towards the ball. Not quite towards the ball, but definitely that way. Okay. More of that angle to your body. Okay. So that you will find, or you should find, that when you change this part, hopefully these arms will go a bit more up rather than the club going back around you that way. Okay? Yeah. So do that again. You're going to work, you see your head's going to stay central and you're going to work your left shoulder down, or you can feel your right shoulder going upwards. Lovely. Perfect. A little bit more of that. Now the key to this, and this is where people go wrong with this drill, when you're setting up here and you're in your posture, it's almost easy. When you're dropping your left side as it feels, you drop your head. Yeah. Now that's the bit we've got to be careful of.
Okay.
Okay, so this has got to stay where it is as you change the angle of your shoulders and your hips.
Okay.
Okay, so you're going to feel like they're a bit more pitch. That's better. That's going to be the turn. Okay,
Okay.
so
Yeah.
that's one drill you can kind of get the feel of.
Okay.
You're probably looking for somewhere just above the ball as a
Yeah.
line with this stick.
Okay.
Because at the ball's probably a bit steep. There you go, but perfect. Lovely. Now you've got a better angle to your body.
Yeah.
Okay. If we coupled that with a different kind of feel, so
Yeah.
now you can start to use the club.
Okay.
So you have that, I'll have that. Now,
well
now keeping the same kind of angle to the shoulder line,
Yeah.
what I want you to do is make some swings where you just feel slowly in the backswing, but you don't hit the wall. So it goes up. Now, a good little feel for you is to get it on the wall here.
Yeah.
Now as you start down, keep the head on the wall. That keeps it inside, doesn't it?
Yeah.
So that stops you coming over the top as well.
Okay.
Okay? So it's kind of an all-round drill, really. Up
Yeah.
onto the wall, stay on the wall as you pull your arms down. Lovely. Perfect.
Okay.
I think that's a really nice feel for you.
Yeah.
Because it does two things. You picture your shoulder, well, three things. Picture your shoulders is better.
Yeah.
The line of your backswing is better. It's not as inside.
Yeah.
And then if you keep the head on the wall as you bring it down,
Yeah.
you've got the inside path
Rather than-
coming down rather than the over the top.
Okay.
Okay?
Yeah.
Now, we could almost make that an all-round drill by putting your training aid on.
Yeah.
So, it's kind of one feel fits all, really, for you.
Yeah.
So you put that on. You know what you're doing with
Yeah.
that. That's it.
Best that Timu can buy.
Yeah, that's it. Can't knock a bit of Timu. Get over them biceps, mate. I had absolutely no problem
that's
getting this on.
I'll leave it done up normally.
Because we want the most amount of stoppage, if you like.
Yeah,
Okay.
okay.
I want this to travel the least.
Yeah.
So this will set your arm in a 90.
Yeah.
Okay. You'll find that probably average is about that on tour.
Okay.
McElroy's about 60 something, which is just stupidly straight. But 90 is fine. Okay. So now we're going to work it steeper and stopping. Right. If you get there, can we just tuck that a touch more there so this sits down?
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Now from there, we're going to work it up a little bit steeper. Elbow tucks in. Lovely. Well done. And again. Okay. And again. Don't forget to tuck that elbow just a touch on the way back. Okay.
Okay.
So I'm going to start to work it up. Lovely. Well done, mate.
Okay.
Lovely. And then keep it on the wall. Bring it down. Bring it down. Bring it down and through. Lovely. Okay. Now if we go back over here and you have a look at that as a drill.
Yeah.
This is you against the wall here. So obviously this is going to stop you swinging way inside.
Yeah.
So good starting point. Now what I like about that is we're way more on line to start with.
Yeah.
And then as we go a little bit further, let's get it to what I would call about P3. Now other than that elbow being a bit high
Yeah.
and not sitting down enough or tucking in for you,
Yeah.
love it, because the best parts about this is we've now got that lovely angle to the shoulders.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
We're not as inside with the club. We're on plane, and then when we get to the top, and you've just tucked the elbow, look, which it was a bit of an afterthought.
Yeah.
But we got to try and get that incorporated.
Yeah.
You start to see how you're going to do this, and you do it better the second time. So you do it again, and it works there. See how your elbow's tucking a bit better now.
Yeah.
Now I'm happier. Okay, we can go a little bit deeper, that's fine.
Okay.
What we're looking for, this is pretty good.
Yeah.
We're not long,
No.
we're on plane,
Yeah.
or closer to. We're steeper with the shoulder angle, or we're in our tilt better.
Yeah.
And now, as we start to work the club down the wall, you start to be a lot more inside from there. So your arms aren't coming out. You've got all that space you've created here.
Yeah.
By not swinging long and having plenty of room in here, you can just pull this club more downward now instead of outward this way.
Yeah.
Okay, so as you're coming down there, down through, good. Translating that to the mat is then another thing.
Definitely.
So and then again, we need to translate then to the golf course. So what I would say is, like, in my opinion, is don't be afraid to, like, don't worry about the ball for now.
Okay.
Don't worry about the ball for now. I think a lot of people when they practice, especially amateur golfers, they're very hang off every shot.
Yeah.
Almost like every shot's got to be a great shot. And a lot of the time when you're working on mechanics, you're not really worried about the golf ball just yet. We've got to make sure that we're taking care of what our body's doing and where our arms are, and obviously our delivery direction, if you like. Yeah. And then to the golf ball, more than we've got to worry about the golf ball just yet.
Yeah, I think that's what I would normally do. I'd be like, I'm not hitting it great like this, so I'll just go.
Look, we've got, 15 bays here, and if you started here all day and watched most amateurs practice, you see them almost tense over every shot because they're, it's not so good, that one's not so good, hit one left. Yeah. Well, if you watch a professional practice or a really good player, if they're thinking what I would say this is internal thoughts, where you're thinking about what you're doing, they're not worried about the external. Yeah. Externals for golf course, where you're thinking about your target or what shot shape you're trying to play or what club you're hitting, or where your target is, or if it's a safe target or a conservative line or whatever it might be. Yeah. And then you can worry about whether you got it right or wrong. Okay. But at the minute, we need to get the technical sort of mechanical parts right first. Okay. So, smooth swings. Yeah. I'd rather you swing slow and quick. I'd rather you take your time with it. Maybe hit some half shots. Maybe not hit some. Go snail pace if you want. Go really slow to try and get the feels in. Yeah. And then just clip the ball away. Don't get too into ball. Okay. Plenty of practice swings. Twice as many practice swings as you hit balls. Yeah. Is what I'd say. Okay. Yeah. Let's do a few feels on the mat then. Okay. Good posture. Just drop that foot back a tiny bit so we square up with the mat and then bring that shoulder forward. That's lovely. Okay. Right, now slowly from here, what I want to see is you feeling like you've got that wall behind you there. Okay, so we're going to work this shoulder up or this shoulder slightly down. Keep your head nice and still. Yep. Club's going to feel like it's working up and out towards me, I guess. Lovely, that's it. And as we slowly build it slowly, and about there is your maximum. Okay, then from there you can just work the club down and through. Beautiful, okay? Now try and do that nicely, that sort of speed on your own. Okay. So we're going to work it smooth and through. Good try, decent. I would say you probably went quick.
Yeah, a little bit too quick.
Yeah, look, it's not easy to do. No. It's not easy to do that. It's not easy to do at all. So let's get a nice, again, take your time, go slow, go at your own leisurely pace, square your shoulders for me, lovely. And just hit the positions, make sure the mechanics are good. So it's back, fold your arm, go to there, downwards and through. Yeah, and through. Lovely, that's great rehearsal, okay? And then through the shot. Slow, go. Really good, well done mate, that's brilliant. Yeah. Obviously you can see the training aid so you know which one's which. Yeah. This is your newer one, this is obviously your older one. So let's go through it. So as you work this back here, what we're going to start to see is the club go in behind the handle. Yep. And then that's already starting the shoulders off on a flatter line now. So as you get to here, look, see how the club's getting flat. Yes. So the butt end's pointing sort of above the golf ball. Okay. Yep. So if you work here now, let's go back to there. Go onto this right hand screen where you can see this work a little bit different, still a little bit behind hands. But you can see the change in the plane. Yeah. You're starting to get a little bit more closer to the plane line there. If I just make that big enough, see that? Yeah. Your head's nearly off the screen on this one, isn't it? So you can see that one. Yeah. So go back to this one, to the top of the backswing. You'll see it go long. We know that the arms from face on bend, over flex, and that club starts to appear this side. Yeah. So from here, keeping that structure of those arms as it goes up now, and that elbow tucked in, you start to get a lot better look to the top of that backswing. Definitely. Yeah, so now it's better in all areas. Your tilts are better, length of swing, arm structure, we're good as gold. Okay. Plenty of room in this golf swing now. Go back to the old one. We know we're going to then send the arms out. We're going to come over the top. Right side's going to come forward. Club goes out. Yep. This one, we're going to wait a lot longer. We're going to bring this downward. Yeah, now we're on a different path altogether into the golf ball. Look. Yeah. Okay. And though this is just a rehearsal, you still do this when you hit the golf ball. So into a good plot. Down on the inside, look. now we're in a different level of place.
Yeah.
Hey, you can turn onto the golf shot now, can't you? You know, you're in the right place, the club's tracking a lovely line. As you come through, you just turn onto the shot.
Yeah.
That's a good golf swing. This one, you've got to manipulate from here. You've got to find a way of getting the club on the golf ball. And you can swing. You can see how much sort of outside the golf ball you are here, and then inside the golf ball as you go past the ball.
Yeah.
Where if I zoom in on this right hand side and just drag you back a little bit, you're coming way more from inside of the ball to square and through. Okay, good.
Yeah.
This is a lot better.
Definitely.
So that's the mechanics.
Yes.
We just need reps now.
Yeah.
You just got to do a lot of it. But I just want to make sure that you've got exactly in your mind exactly what those feelings are. So it's here, it's tilting, it's upright, this folds down, this goes to the top. You're going to feel here. That's about your backswing done there, mate.
Yeah.
You don't need to go any further than that.
Okay.
We're good here. You know, you've got full shoulder turn in there,
Yeah.
90 odd degrees in there, easy.
Yeah.
Now you're going to work the club down this way and just turn onto it with your chest. Lovely.
Okay.
Got it. Go for it. Let's go for it. That's it. Just all about control, okay?
Yeah.
So control it first. Speed. Yeah, try. Good. I mean, I know that ball's gone to the right,
Yeah.
but it didn't curve.
No.
It was a push.
Yeah.
It's not like it's coming across the ball, so that's a good sign.
Yeah.
You know, I know I said not to watch the ball.
I mean, there's not a lot. I know that obviously it went right, but that feels better than some of the ones that I hit straight.
Yeah.
I know it wasn't a great shot, but
the other thing for you that I would say is that because you're creating such side spin, the axis on the ball, you're having to put the maximum effort in to get almost a minimum output.
Okay.
And almost you want to reverse that, don't we? We want to be putting less effort and getting a maximum distance and whatnot. And the minute you're having to hit it so hard, because you're hitting it so across the golf ball to get it to go your yardage. Hopefully, you will. As you start to put the club on the ball correctly, you'll put less effort in, and the ball will go your yardage you need.
Well.
And you can control it. As I go and again. So, show me a practice swing to the top. I'm going to tilt a little bit. I'm going to feel that the elbow tucks in a bit. Lovely. I love that. That's brilliant. Okay. And then just apply the speed through the ball, which you do well. Money.
Better.
Perfect. That's a good swing. Okay, so a little bit of tilt. Let that right elbow fold and tuck. Stop there. That's enough. Okay, and then through. Good, you got it. Control that backswing though, pal.
Okay.
Make sure it's done. Lovely. Good. There you go. There's your structure. Okay, and again, practice it to where you want. That's as long enough, okay? Good. Tilt. Elbow tucks. Go. Good. Swing. Better?
Better, yeah.
It's a funny one, this as well, because sometimes when you have lessons, you get people come in and you think, do you know what? That's a couple of days' work. That you get a couple of 100 baskets in, you'll probably get this done. Yeah. This isn't.
No.
Unfortunately, this is one of those ones that you've just ingrained for a while.
Yeah.
I mean, I've seen you before prior to these videos.
Yeah.
And you were definitely not this long.
No.
We'll definitely say that.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, it's just one of those habits that you've creeped in that's just going to take a little bit of work.
Yeah.
Okay, come on, let's get that fold in correctly. Good, that's it. 1 second. So just a bit more there. There. Beautiful. Good, man. Okay. Move this across a little bit. Good. Again, another message there is that wasn't probably your best swing of the day.
No.
But it hasn't got to be perfect yet. Good shot.
Yeah.
It's just got to be better. Try and recreate that feel. Better. Well done. Really good.
Yeah.
That was a good swing. It was a good swing.
Okay.
And that's why, for me, at the moment, going slow is the way forward. And if I did this in terms of hit the shot for you, in terms of how I would practice it, you've got kind of static shots, static swings, which are going to be, can I sort of get it to the top, kind of stop, make sure I'm sort of, okay, that's right, and then hit the ball. Then I've got blends, okay, which is a slow and go without stopping, and then you got normal swings where you start to add the speed, and you're more natural and flowy. But there's a process, So first of all, don't be afraid to go slow and positional. Really, like, okay, going there, good. That's folding. Almost now I've got time to sort of think to myself. Elbows, tilt, turn. That's about as far as I want to go. Okay, perfect. Now I can sort of drop it inside. Okay, they're statics. Then I can kind of blend where I kind of go, I'm going to do all those movements with slowly but without stopping. So now I'm going to go and hit it. And then I can build my speed up. But don't be afraid to kind of do those. That's the sort of process I would say. In practice. So let's get on. So let's do one of each. Let's do a static kind of swing. Okay. This is very stop-start, so you're going to feel. Let's do it again. Start again. Sorry. Let's just make sure that we're a little bit more that way with the hip, that way with the shot. Good. Okay. Slowly, 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 slowly. Good. Arms come down. Slowly. Turn the body. Good. Perfect. Now try and do a blend of that. Okay. So it's slow, slower, slower, slower. Elbow folds through. Good, nice. Now try and hit a ball doing that. Okay, so get your set up right first, get your hips up a bit. That's it, lovely. We're going to hit the ball, but that speed. Okay, slowly, let it fold, let it go up, turn, through. Good. That's good practice. Because you're getting the muscle memory in. And at that pace, you can, at the minute, you can control the length, the flexes, the tilts, everything. Full speed, we probably can't. Okay, so let's test it. Go on, go for it. Hit a shot. So good setup, and just hit it. Good try. We've got a train aid on, but when you go back and you look at those, you have a look at the distance those two travel. There is a difference. So as soon as you go to anywhere near full speed, we do get that bit longer. It'd be interesting if we took the train aid off and went for it, just to see how much things change. Go on, that's it.
Hopefully not like
So again, you can have a rehearsal, but when you hit this golf ball, I want it to feel like it's golf course type swing, okay? Yeah, perfect. But when you hit this ball, I just want you to feel like you're on the course. Just go for it, okay? So get into your target. Don't worry about your golf swing here. Let's hit it. Go for it. Let's hit it. Go for it. Okay. There's no secrets in this game, buddy. You don't hit a sphere with a flat 4-inch object like that and get away with it. That's good. It's shorter. You could be a little bit shorter.
How far was that?
About parallel.
Parallel.
I would say that was parallel to the ground.
Okay.
So you take it right now.
Definitely
take that ball flight. 100%.
Yeah,
your mechanics are working. It's good. It's really good. It's starting to look really nice.
Better.
Look, the good thing about this as well, you're building like a swing that's going to last the test of time as well. It's not a fix. It's not, I'm playing Saturday and I need to get me on the golf course with my driver or something like that. This is you're building something that you're just going to be able to play single-figure golf off.
And that's what I'm aiming for.
100% you should be. You know, I've seen you hit golf balls before. I know what you're capable of. I've not necessarily seen you on the golf course as much yet, but
maybe that's something.